Good morning, everybody. Hopefully, you saw my post on Facebook, on the Mindset and Meditation group. If you're not part of that group yet, it's a public group. Anybody can join, and you'll know when I'm going live in the morning. So, join that group, hit the subscribe button down below so that I can keep doing this and making these videos. It just really helps me out to know that there's people that are listening that want to hear what I have to say. So, yeah, today we are going to talk about, I'm sure you noticed my title to You Feel Wrong for Being You. So today that's what we're going to talk about. Some of us probably feel that way sometimes. To be honest, it's an uncomfortable topic for me to talk about because I'm one of those people that spends time thinking about how I feel right about myself or my situation. But that's the whole kind of point of today's topic and what we're talking about is being honest with where you're at and being honest so that you can make that shift. I'm just going to adjust my camera here because I feel wrong about my camera's angle. Yeah, so that you can make that shift. Do you feel like that sometimes? Do you feel like that all the time? It's really important to acknowledge it instead of saying things like, oh, it doesn't exist, or spending so much time creating scenarios and playing roles that we are not happy in, that don't fulfill us, that don't make us um, feel like ourselves. But in order to shift that, um, yeah, you have to come to the place where you are aware of that feeling so that you can shift it. um, so that's part of the tools that I want to talk about today. I'm just going to check my notes because I feel like early in the morning I get distracted a lot with my brain. Or there's just things that I'm uncomfortable saying because that's like I said, it's a hard topic. A lot of times when I bring up this topic with my friends or my family, um, people spend a lot of time denying that there's anything wrong. They will not admit that they're scared. They will not admit that um, there's something that they're not feeling right about. A lot of times we feel like if we just get that one thing right, if we just get this area of our lives figured out, if we just reach this next goal, if we just find this next one thing that will make us happy, that will make our whole lives right. If we just can get this one piece finally in place. But that's not how it works, and that's not actually true. That just leaves you feeling more empty, and it just leaves you feeling like you're chasing something that's not attainable. So, yes, let me just check my note. My note. I have one little note today. You can't change a lie into a truth. So if you are scared about something, if you are trying to chase that impossible dream, you can't change that lie into your personal truth. And You can do all of the meditation you want. You can do all of the positive thinking you want, but it doesn't change that underlying fear. You still, when you're alone, when you walk into a room and you're unsure about yourself because of the other people in the room, you still have the underlying fear. Am I good enough? Am I accepted? Am I, um, is being me okay? So you can't change a lie into a truth. So that's the first fundamental thing that we have to understand. And then the second is finding that place where you are fearful and acknowledging that it's there, that it exists. It's not a bad thing. It just means that you are you're searching for something more, for that more. But we have to shift the fear. So that's part of, well, I guess that's part of these videos. That is the work that I'm doing in these lives, is helping you guys try to find that place where you can make that shift and be honest with who you are and how you're feeling. Because if you can't make that shift, if you can't be honest about how you're really feeling, then you won't be able to find that place that you need to delete and destory. Um, okay, I'm going to move on. I feel like there's another thought that I wanted to express there, but I'm going to move on because I feel like I got my point across. The point is that there is a way to feel good about who you are and who you are being. And I guess maybe that's more to the point, is who are you being? How can you show up as just being you without any fear, without any judgment? And that's why I talk a lot about judgment, and that's why I talk a lot about how to shift that. Because as soon as you ask the question, so I don't know, imagine you show up somewhere and you're feeling really unsure about who you are in that situation in that moment. Um, so you try to control it. Try to control it with your thoughts. Try to control it with, positive thinking and positive meditations and, um, I don't know, mantras and all of those kinds of things. And positive thinking and changing your thoughts is not a bad thing. But if you haven't deleted and destoried the things that are keeping you stuck, then there's still that underlying fear and that connection between your head and your heart. So every time you have a thought, that creates a feeling. And that feeling is what is being emitted out into the universe, that vibration that you're vibing on, because the whole earth is built on vibrations. Um, there is an ancient text that says that the stars sing, and that um, the what else does it say? That the trees groan in all of creation. So the universe is a living, breathing thing, and it operates on vibrations. So when say, I am an amazing person. I love myself, which is great. That's awesome. But then, we walk into a situation that contradicts that. And what does that feel like? How does that feel? Um, all of a sudden, there's that little point of fear that starts to show up. And then you question whether you really do love yourself or not. So that's what we want to find that place. I mean, that's just one example. There's lots of other examples that all of us feel insecure about. And so if we can find that spot of what we feel insecure about, then we can start to become aware of that fear and change the energy, the emotional energy behind that fear. So once we delete and destory it, once we change it, then the emotional energy behind that fear releases, and it's like night and day. You're able to actually feel that feeling of being loved. It's of loving yourself. It's amazing. It's so amazing to have freedom in that area. So that's what I want for all of you guys. That's why I show up every weekday morning, so that we can start to experience that freedom together. Um, yeah. Obviously, as a coach, I feel like there's so much more that we can do. Um, but there's only so much that I can do every weekday morning with, the hundreds of people or that are watching. So that's why I ask these questions. And that's why we try to find as much of the answer as we can. But if you have any questions and you want to get a hold of me, you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me here on YouTube, and like, subscribe, find a way to get a hold of me so that you can contact me if you have any personal work that you want to do. I would absolutely love to help you. um, yeah, so you can't change a lie into a truth. So you need to acknowledge the lie and then stop buying it. So that's part of I delete and destory, uncreate across all times, dimensions, spaces, and realities. Everywhere I bought and sold a lie. That's why we say that whatever lie it is you're believing. Um, my most recent one has been an interesting journey for me. It has to do with my family, my daughter specifically. I realized, and this one is still actually emotionally charged for me, so it's something I still need to work on. I realized that I have a belief that the people that are closest to me and my family are the ones who are most unsupportive of me. And I don't even know where I picked that up. I have no clue. I keep thinking, how did I pick that up? Maybe that was, um, I think one thought comes to mind. If you've ever been part of a church group or some sort of religious organization, um, I was when I was younger, and I used to hear the story about how Jesus was kicked out of his town for speaking truth because they didn't they didn't like to hear what he had to say. And for whatever reason, that just attached to me, and that became an emotional charge for me. And so I just got this idea that the people that are closest to me are the ones who are most unsupportive. And sometimes a lot of us feel that way. Sometimes our families are not super great at being supportive of us. But the truth is that as I've started to shift who I am, and started to shift my belief patterns. And I know I talked about this before with my sisters and my mom. That started to shift how they respond to me. And that's emotional. My mom is actually really, really super supportive now. I didn't feel that way about her before, but she is really, really supportive.